done what you told me to do. And I didn't prepare a word, neither did I plan one for you. But I thank God for being a right now God.
Amen.
And His word being a present word. Tony and I, we talking from time to time. He always would say, and I know why he was saying it. And it was because of the subject matter and matter in which we were talking. But he would say, I hear the bleating sound of the sheep in my ears. And all of a sudden this morning, when I got up and I was on my way, the Lord dropped that back in my spirit. And I said, what? The first person I saw and what I heard was Tony. But God was dealing with my spirit. And you can find that story in the book of 1 Samuel, I'm sorry. But what I want to tell you is this. God used the prophet to go to Saul, to tell Saul that God had rejected him. But what God wanted me to tell you this morning is that with all these things that you can't say no to, He says He can't hear you. Because if He says that as long as we're still down here and we're present, that He knows what dwells in us, then what He told us was, through the word, that He can't look on us and we live. So since He will not put His sight on us, He inclines His ear unto us. And God is hearing so much from us and is keeping us out of the presence of God. And He's saying to us on this morning, He hear the sound. And the sound that He hear is not what He's calling for. See, if we would do what He tells us to do, then He would hear what He needs to hear. If Saul had done just what God said, there would have been a sound of silence.
It's all right. It would have been a sound that God Himself would recognize. See, because when everything is clear and nobody is speaking, you hear nothing. But you don't know what God hears in our silence. In our silence. From our obedience. God is able to give us just whatsoever it is, not that we're asking for, but He's able to give us what He's already said is ours. But if He can't hear Himself in obedience through us to the fullness, if it's not done exactly how God say to do it, then we are still in disobedience. What does He hear this morning concerning you? What has He told us to do on this morning before we came into His presence? What has God told us to do that we either haven't done, halfway done, but it's all still in disobedience? So what is He hearing on this morning? Is there a sound coming forth from each and every one of us?
the sound is in disobedience. But if it's silence, it means that we have obeyed. And I know that there was some that didn't want to say no. Because there's still some things, amen, you're holding on to. And still yet asking God to bless you over that. God knows when yes is yes. And he still understands when no is no. That's one thing that God do know about us. He told us. He said, with the iniquity that's in our heart, he said he will not hear us. If you got iniquity, if you're holding on to some things, and God told you to let that go, then there's a sound that he's hearing. And something has to be done. Because God don't like that kind of noise. He don't like that kind of noise. And I thought about consecration. Before we can even say yes to consecration, we got to be able to say no to some of these things that's keeping us from performing the steps. And once again this morning I thought about the 13 steps in 30 days. And as I said, you think, who can't make 13 steps in 30 days? Us. 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 See, you'll agree when I say us. But when I ask, nobody would say, I can't. See, you got to stop waiting on somebody else. You got to know your own truth. And not that you don't know it, but you got to own it. And truth speaks. It's only a lie that'll keep his mouth shut. "13 steps. Tell the truth. I don't mind anointing myself. I don't pray every day. All right, you done missed a step. So how many days in them 30 days you didn't pray? How many days in 30 days you didn't fast? How many days in 30 days? That's why I'm telling you, it's not easy to take 13 steps in 30 days. Unless you're willing to say yes. And you understand that yes, come with the test. You understand that the test is the 13 steps. But it's who you said yes to. It's who you giving your yes to. Stop trying to keep what you want to keep for yourself. All right. And give God what you think he will accept. Give him just what he's requiring. And as I said on this morning, I thank God for training session 1. I really and truly do. Because although we come for 2 and 3, training session 1 is still yet, it deals with the word of God. Not that 2 and 3 don't, it does. But in 1, it's just telling you basically just what God is requiring from us. Period. Point blank, period. And I'm grateful on this morning to the no's. You keep living. Just keep living. And if you really do, as we all do, belong to God, and we see that we come this way, we're being pulled into this way, then things are going to happen in your lives. Things are going to happen to get you to really say yes. Things will happen that the yes come forth. So whatever you're in, wanting God to say yes, if it's what he don't accept, then you have to say no. And then you have to make your declaration to yes, this is what I'll do. God bless us all on this morning. As I said, I was going to pray what he told me to pray, say what he told me to say, And after that, I was going to give the mic over for the word. So at this time, let's receive